YouTube. So this video is going to be on how to relactate, and it's pretty much going to be simple and to the point. To give you a little background, the reason I had to relactate is because when my son was 2 weeks old, I weaned him, and I felt awful about it. But the reason I weaned him was because I was experiencing excruciatingly painful nursing, and every time I would go see a different lactation consultant, they would all say the same thing. They would say, oh, it's all about the latch, and if your baby is latched properly, it shouldn't hurt. And a proper latch is where your whole areola is inside the baby's mouth, or at least most of it is, you know, because I know different breasts have different size areolas. But with my situation, his mouth was around my entire areola, and the lactation consultants kept saying it's the latch, it shouldn't hurt you that bad, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt. But I had the classic dry cracked nipples, bleeding, the whole 9 yards, and the pain was so bad I would cry, and I'm not exaggerating, and I'm usually pretty good when it comes to pain. I can hack it, but it was just really bad. So I weaned him at 2 weeks old. Long story short, he ended up getting really constipated, and I went through an immense amount of guilt because I felt like it was my fault that he was, you know, in so much pain with the constipation. So I decided I'd relactate because I stopped nursing for a week and a half, and within that week and a half, I actually dried up completely. Like my breasts shrunk down to their original bra size, and when I would try to squeeze my nipples to get milk out, just like drops, not even drops would come out, like maybe one drop would come out, and that's it. So, you know, I obviously was dried up. So what I did was to relactate, I got a new lactation consultant. This one was really good and referred to me, and I started seeing her once a week. When I went to see her, she explained to me that I had a crappy breast pump. I won't say the name of the breast pump, but it actually is a popular one, which is weird. But it was loud, noisy, and it just didn't have a good pull. And part of nursing is having a good breast pump, moms, because we live in this day and age where, you know, we can't really have our baby attached to our hip 24/7. There are going to be moments where we will have to part from the baby, and well, at least for most moms. And, you know, a good breast pump is key. So I rented a hospital grade breast pump, and I started to see this lactation consultant once a week. And what I did, the plan was, and it worked, was to latch the baby on to my breast each time he got hungry. And of course I was dried up, so as soon as he would fuss at my breast because nothing was coming out, I would immediately give him a Playtex Nursery bottle. And the reason I use the Playtex Nursery bottle is because those bottles, for me personally, are great. Any other bottle that I would try to use while I was nursing would always give him like nipple confusion. Like he would get confused when it would be time to latch onto my nipple. So I used the Playtex Nursery bottle, and he seemed to not have any issues as far as confusing my nipple with the bottle nipple, if that makes any sense for you guys. So I would latch him on, and then I would give him the nursery bottle as soon as he would fuss. Now, it's important that you don't keep him at your breast if he's fussing. As soon as he makes the first little squirmish fussing like sounds or body movements, it's important that you immediately give him the Playtex Nursery or whatever bottle you're using. Give it to him right away. Don't keep him at your breast if you know you're dried up, because obviously what's going to happen is it'll create an aversion, and your baby will begin to associate your breast with something negative, like a negative emotion. And when you try to do it again, he just won't cooperate at all, and that will just completely mess up your plans as far as relactation goes. So if you want your baby to associate your breast with food, as soon as you latch him on every time, well, you would latch him on every time he gets hungry, and as soon as he fusses, you would remove him and give him the bottle, and he should be fine with that, or she should be fine with that. Now, while your baby's feeding from the nursery bottle, you should be pumping, and that's what I would do. I had a hands-free pump bra, and I would attach my electric pump. Oh, actually, I don't know if I mentioned, but I rented a hospital grade pump, which was my lactation consultant's idea, and that pump was great. And I'm going to do another video on pump reviews because I love that pump. But anyways, so I would attach my hospital grade pump to my breast with my hands-free bra, and my hands would be free to continue to feed my baby his bottle. And as my breasts were pumping, I would just feed the baby and burp him on my lap and do everything that I had to do with him. And by the time he was done with his bottle and burped and changed, I was done pumping. And I would do that for 15 to 20 minutes every 3 to 4 hours. I'm sorry, every 2 to 3 hours, not 3 to 4 hours. Every 2 to 3 hours. And if you want to go over 20 minutes, you have to give your breast a 5-minute break. And I actually suggest that you pump for 20 minutes straight. Don't do the 15 minutes unless you're really in a rush and you have other things to do. I really suggest that you do a 20-minute pump session. And if you want to go over 20 minutes, you can, but you need to give your breast a 5-minute break, because if you don't, what will happen is that your breast will just stop responding. So that will make everything pointless. So that's basically how you relactate. You pump every 2 to 3 hours. Always latch your baby on first, because nothing will stimulate your breast milk like your baby's latch. Absolutely nothing. So always latch your baby on first. After you latch, you pump for 15 to 20 minutes. And like I said, I prefer you do it for 20 minutes. And if you want to go over 20, you give your breast a 5-minute break. Now at night, you're going to continue the schedule, but you can allow yourself a 5-hour break of sleep, but you can't go past that. You have to get back up after those 5 hours. And if your baby's sleeping, you wake him up and you latch him to your breast, and then you give him the Nursery bottle. And as he's nursing, well, so to speak, nursing, as he's drinking from the nursing bottle, you pump your breast. And I did this for 3 to 4 weeks. No, I didn't do this for 3 to 4 weeks. I did this for 3.5 weeks. And I continued to pump throughout that 4th week just to make sure my breast milk supply was really at a full supply, because it was kind of like unbelievable, but it was. But I did this for 3.5, almost 4 weeks, and let me tell you guys, I was able to relactate to a full supply of breast milk. So if you do these steps the way I said them, you should be able to relactate to, if not a full supply, a partial supply of breast milk. But I believe in you guys, believe in your body. Your body can do this. Relactation can be done. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and comment in the comment section, and I'll answer them as best I can.